Hello lovely friends, how are you all doing? I hope you're well. Okay, we're back in the garden. This is going to be the August garden tour at last. I'm just going to preface it though. A few days ago, you saw me dealing with the tomatoes. In my real time, that was actually a week ago. Right now, it's 4 weeks since I did any gardening. That is ridiculous, and it's just not good enough at this time of year. However, couldn't really do anything about it. So having dealt with the tomatoes a few days ago, I had a bit of a walk around the garden and thought, yes, this needs doing, that needs doing, what have you. Not in much detail. And then we've had rain, absolutely lashing rain since. So today's my first dry day. And it looks like we're going to have 2 weeks of dry now. So there is a lot of work to do. So the grass still isn't cut, the edges aren't trimmed, the weeds are growing like crazy, plants are still flopped on the floor, and just coming in now I've seen that rain must have been, well I know it was, I heard it, looked at it through my window yesterday, it was really heavy. So some things have been a bit flattened. So, yeah, the garden looks a mess, an absolute mess at the moment, but it's green and growing. That's the important thing, isn't it? Now, the other thing I don't know, so we're going to find this out together as we walk around today, I don't know what harvests are ready, I don't know what's actually grown, because all I've done so far in the last couple of visits, I've literally just sort of taken it in from sort of like the big picture, so just kind of seeing a mass of green leaves. So I haven't been up close and personal to see what, if any, beans I have coming. I'm hoping the beans will be good. I mentioned this the other day, I'm hoping they'll be good because we've been wet, and they will make up for the disappointment of the tomatoes. I haven't checked the tomatoes yet because it's, like I said, it's pretty much a week since I did all that foliage trim out. Yeah, so we're going to discover all of this together, and I can sort of make a note as we walk around together of what needs doing. There's a huge amount. It's a little bit overwhelming, I'll be honest. It is a little bit overwhelming, but I've rejigged this week for myself. Actually, by the time you see this, I think it'll be last week. So we're into the second week of August now. I've rejigged my week so that I'm hopefully going to get 2, maybe 3 days here this week. Long full days. I've got a packed lunch. I'm girding my loins and getting ready to get stuck in. But before I do that, let's go and see what state it's in now. Don't judge me on the weeds, please. And we actually have sunshine today. Oh my goodness, so we might have shadow issues and a helicopter in the background, never mind. Oh, the flowers are looking, well, the lily's going over, I must attend to that. But yeah, it's nice to have this spot of colour. And the first thing I've noticed, oh my goodness, look at the state of the calendula. Can you see how they've been properly flattened? They're right across that path now. This is one of my priority jobs this week, is to get harvesting. I mean, look, some of them have gone to seed already. That's literally in 4 weeks. So I want to harvest because I need my harvest, but also in harvesting to actually encourage more blooms and more harvests. So yes, priority job this week. Now, Parsnips Transplants, how are you doing? Well, they're all still alive. Maybe not the one that was over there, but they're all still alive, good. And then, were there a little tranche of them under here? I can't remember. Oh, that's been nibbled. That's alive. They are the ones that haven't been transplanted. You can see they're quite a bit chunkier. More transplants in here. Yeah, they look okay. I mean, look, they're alive. They're alive. That's all I know at the moment. They're alive. so that'll do. Oh my goodness, look at my grass. Yeah, this is another priority job, because can you see, maybe harder like that has gone to seed. I'm just going to pull that right now, because what I don't want is for all this seed to blow into my fellow plot holders' beds, so that next year they spend half their time pulling out grass rather than tending to their vegetables. I mean, you know, it's nice to have swathes of long grass in places, but not right next to the veg beds. We're growing vegetables, not grass. Hello, mister. You're going to have to wait for attention. Okay, so yeah, I think priority so far, harvest calendula, cut grass. So the rocking call. I did 2 sowings. The first sowing along that side, 2 rows, and then 3 or 4 weeks later I did another sowing this side. So in theory, and I'm right. Oh my goodness, yes. There should be a nice load in there to harvest. Oh, they're all muddy. Look where the mud has splashed up. Wow, the leaves have had a right raw nibbling. Look, there's hardly a leaf left. Yucky slugs and snails. But good. So there's a nice harvest to come from these 2 rows, and then these 2 rows, well, you can see flowers. They are the beans to come. So it'll be nice to have a succession, and what I can do is think of these 2 rows for eating fresh over the next few weeks or so. Think of these 2 rows for storing, freezing. Chickpeas, wow, the chickpeas have been... Look, this is what I mean about the calendulas on the path. This is the path. Yeah, ain't no path there. Oh yeah, I'll just have to harvest. Chickpeas. They're looking blousy, but are there any pods? Yes, there jolly well are. Yeah, I can see. You can see it better with the light behind. And it's actually this angle is the perfect sort of angle for deciding when to harvest. You can see there that the peas haven't actually formed yet. But you can just about see little darker speck in the bottoms of the little pods. That's the pea forming. So it's far too soon to pick yet. Now in there. But it's nice to see. Oh, this might show you. Sorry. This might show you. Can you see in those where the peas are really forming? So yeah, if you're trying chickpeas for the first time and you're wondering when to harvest, especially if you're wanting to have them green as opposed to drying. For harvesting dry, it's kind of obvious, the plants dry up. But if you want to have them green, that's the thing to do, is to get down a bit low and look through them. It's quite early in the morning at the moment, so the sun isn't up at its highest. So either early in the morning or late in the afternoon, as the sun starts to dip again, look through them with the sun on the far side, and it should let you see where the peas are. Okay, so I want to look at the peppers. Can't go this way. The beetroot all look fine. They're nice and fat. Yeah. Oh yeah. Harvest some of those soon. I mean, I can see from here that I've got some nice peppers, and I've also got some damaged ones. The slugs where they nibble a hole and then the wood lice get in. Let's back down this way. The chard is looking beautiful. Do you remember back in the middle of July, last time I was here, I said there were 2 holes on the end where I transplanted kind of quite big chunks for the girls next door. They looked really wilty after being transplanted, but when I came back the other week they were down, so I had a little look, and they're doing great. So they've got some lovely chard plants. Okay, let's just come and have a look at these whoopla peppers. Oh, and I'm excited. This is the Portuguese cabbage that Paul grew from his own seed for me, also known as Taunton Dean. Yeah, I can start harvesting from that soon, I reckon. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful leaves. You know what? The leaves are massive. I think one leaf will do me for my dinner. Oh, that's had a few nibbles. Never mind. Okay. Peppers. Oh, aren't you a beauty? So this is orange bell. Now at the moment it's green. It will go a deep, really bright orange. I could eat them green if I choose to. They're just a little bit more bitter. The more orange they are, the more sweet they are. Oh, again. Oh, yeah. Oh, some lovely fruits in here. Oh, this plant really went for it. Yum, yum, yum. Actually, that's two plants rubbing up to each other. But, yeah, some lovely fruits, but also, as I just mentioned, some damaged ones. Never mind. Oh, another one hiding in there. See, at the moment it's hard to see them because they're green. But as they start to ripen, oh, it's always a really happy sight as they start to ripen. And then we really got to start to see them. Oh, weeds in the path. This is another priority job. I don't know how many I'll be able to get done this week, but this is the new potatoes, the salad potatoes. I want to get the rest of them out and into thick paper sacks, and in their stead will be the purple sprouting broccoli. I really want to get my brassicas in, my winter brassicas in now, so that's another job for this week. Cara, my main crop potatoes, they'll probably stay in there until, probably the end of September. Hang on a minute, am I the wrong way round? Yeah, no, that's right. So purple sprouting broccoli, following the new potatoes, get those in and established now. End of September into the first week of October, get the Cara out, and they will be followed by garlic for next year. Oh dear, I think some trimming has to happen once again. So let's just duck under. Oh, ow, oh, that, my back doesn't like that. Right, Cavallo Nero. Oh my goodness, I think I'm going to have to, yeah, you can probably see it best here. It's right up to the top of the nets. So I think I'm just going to have to lift up the blue piping a bit. If you remember when I put all these in, there is excess enviromesh on either side that's just rolled up and held down with these clips. As I showed, fly mimmer, as I showed when I planted them. So all I will do in the next few days is where I've got the blue pipes at the moment, they're in a cross, they're sort of crossed, a bit lower. What I can do now is uncross them, and that will actually create a bit more height, and the slack of the enviromesh that can be loosened out so there's enough mesh to go over them. But yeah, wow, they've done great. They are definitely, you know what, I can be picking. You see how they're bent? Yeah, I can start picking those. Great. Because it's a cut and come again veg, as in when I harvest, I'll take a leaf from each plant. A leaf from each plant will keep me going for a week. The plant will keep growing. So this is actually, even though I can start picking now, this is actually one of my main winter crops. Keep going all winter. Fab. Okay, one of the disaster beds. The celery is looking absolutely fine, although that is not celery. Larry, oh, you're right next to it, aren't you? Can I pull you out? Sorry. Oh, and I'll leave it there, like that, pointing. It'll remind me with my trowel. to get that out. But yeah, the celery is looking absolutely fine, bulking up, doing exactly what I'd expect it to. And again, this is more of a winter crop, well, autumn, winter and spring crop for me, because I use it mostly in soups. So fabulous, it's doing what it should do, and I look forward to plenty of portions of that through the winter. Morning, Rosie. How are you doing, sweetheart? We've had a little cuddle already. So yeah, the absolutely useless salad bed this year, never mind. The absolutely useless fennel bed this year, never mind. Oh, you know, I forgot on Blight Day. I forgot to trim out the foliage on these monsters. Right, another priority job. But, yay for a few more ripe ones. Great. Oh yes, I mustn't forget to do that. Yeah, I'm not going to stop to have a look now. Now the thing is, when I do this, because it's quite possible, I haven't had a close-up, but it's quite possible there's some blight on them, I'll do it as my very last job of the day, because what I won't want to do, and I'm going to keep away from them now, I don't want to do it now, risk getting some blight spores on my clothing, and then later on, because I plan to be here all day, there's a high chance that at some point in the day I'll go to one of my friends' gardens to have a look to see how they're doing. And the last thing I want to do is transfer blight spores from my garden to theirs if they don't have blight. I would be mortified if I was responsible for that. So yeah, last job of the day. Right, the monster courgettes. Oh my goodness, I know there's going to be pickings again in here. Yep, loads to pick. Oh, fantastic. Soup, more soup. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I missed this one, obviously. And then some nice little tender ones. So with the nice little tender ones, they'll go into sort of a ratatouille or something. Just something dead simple. Simple, quick, nutritious, yummy. Now, can I get down this path? No. Oopla! Oh, it's that big one. It's trying to trip me up. I'm trying to get in here. Oh, this is what I mean about with the garden having been unattended. I've got no paths now. So I've got here 1, 2 somewhere. I can't remember which way around they are, but a black futsu and a sweet dumpling that were my spares. Is there a single fruit anywhere? Oh, isn't that light pretty? You know, I think it looks like the vines are running... Oh, yeah, I can see a fruit. It looks like the vines are running that way. So I'll have a look from the other side. But I did just spot one vine running this way. This must be the sweet dumpling. A little sweet dumpling. Oh, yeah. You know, I just think it's too... Oh, yeah, I've seen it. Blight. That whole plant's going to come out. Right, get away from it. So I lost my train of thought then. Okay, leeks. Leeks are getting nice and chunky. They'll be lovely in some late summer salads, even sort of like warm salads. Yum, 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 yum. Fab. Which way shall I go? I think I'm going to try and make my way back out this way. Yeah, oh no, I know what I was going to say with reference to all of this sprawling mass. Excuse me. I just think it's too late now to try to train things, get things going in a direction that I would like, etc. They're just too established on the floor. But I can see there's a fruit there. There's a fruit there. Oh my goodness, they're right through the onion bed. So here we go. This is a job I can get on with. So, white onions, red onions, orange cat. You can see how more of them have flopped over now. You can see there's gaps as well because I have been harvesting. I think another priority this week is just get them all out, because we've been so wet. Oh, actually though, we're due a few days of sunshine, so I might leave it a couple of days. But I want to get them all out now, onto the onion drying rack in the shed, and replace them with Calebres and Savoy cabbages. And whilst I'm doing that, I can try to tame the squashes. Can I tame the squashes? I don't know, it might just be far too late. Wow, they've romped away, haven't they? We've got some really beautiful chunky monkeys in here. Look at the size of that one. And let me give you my hand for comparison. That's huge for a red onion. Normally the reds come a bit smaller than the white onions. But yeah, they're all looking really well. I'm actually really happy with the onions. They look great. Obviously once I get them out of the ground and I see their bottoms, I might change my mind and think, oh no, they look half rotten. But I know there was one over there I saw that was fallen over, it was rotted. But otherwise, no, I'm pleased so far with how they look. So, priority jobs so far: harvest calendula, cut grass, empty the new potatoes, get purple sprouting broccoli in, empty the onion beds, get Calebres, get Savoy cabbages in, raise up my nets, get the blighted plants out. Oh my goodness, lots of work, but never mind that. Right, beans, and it's a shaggy grass story. So on our left, this is the Coco Sophie, and on the right, it's supposed to all be gigantes, but there are a couple of plants in there with red flowers. They're not gigantes, and I've just seen one of the arches has collapsed a bit. My bad for not bracing them. But anyway, let's see what we've got by way of beans forming. I can see some Coco Sophie forming. So the Coco Sophie, in fact, all of my beans, apart from the rocking call, which we just saw, the little yellow ones, and the helder, which we'll come to, all of my beans I will harvest when they're at their absolute fattest in the pods, the beans that is, get them out of their pods and into the freezer. So with all of these beans, I'm not interested in eating the actual pod. It's the bean inside I want, and I will wait till they're really, really fat. Fat as a runner bean. So it's one of the plants that's got the red flower, so it must be one of the Scarlet Emperors. I obviously got in a muddle when I was planting. I think it was one of those days and I was in a bit of a hurry. Okay, so the Coco Sophie, I can see lots of nice beans forming at the moment, sideways on. They're quite skinny. You see where the beans are in them. I'll wait and wait and wait and let them get fatter and fatter and fatter before I harvest. Oh, look at this light again, this dappled light. I do love the light that the beans give by being up these frames. Okay, so this has got to be a Scarlet Emperor as well. Next door, that's supposed to be a Gigantes. They don't look or feel like Gigantes. Gigantes pods are normally quite short, with maybe 3 or 4 beans per pod. Have I been in a right muddle this year? Who knows? Oh, that's a nice sight as well. You can see how unstable these frames are because I didn't brace them. Wobbling in the breeze. Oh, pretty, pretty, pretty against the blue sky again. Yay! Okay, you can see here, arch collapse. Can we even get through? Actually, it's hard to get through because my path is getting blocked by... Oh, I think that is a... Where are we in the garden? I've got to orientate. Yeah, I think that's a Muscat de Provence. Yay. So this arch, I'll just show you, it's... Oh my goodness, yeah. It should be it should be over here. I love the gigantes against the sky. It should be here, but it's actually resting here. We've had some quite strong wind as well. Okay, that's another priority job. Suddenly all the jobs are priorities. Can I get through? Let's see if we can get through. Whoopla. So like I said, these are all supposed to be gigantes. You see, that does look more like a gigantes. Oh, who knows? Who knows what's going on in this garden this year? You know what? I don't know. Right. Okay, so at the back end of bed number 3, this is one of the vining beds. Oh, look. You see him just... Oh no, he's going to get up now and move. Just having a little sun bath on the damp mud. So this is one of the slight disappointments in terms of my timing. My teepees are bare because the plants are romping away horizontally. And when you see sort of how they really start to escape on the paths, you can see why I grow vertically, because it does save a lot of room. I may have a go at trying to get these up onto the teepees, but equally I don't want to snap any of the vines, so I might just have to say, oh, too late. Can't see any fruits. Oh, yes. This is the black futsu. That's a pretty one, isn't it? Oh, and he's got a little friend. Oh no, that's a lovely one. Again, I love it with this sort of light coming through. Beautiful. Those deep ribs. Gorgeous. Oh, stand up straight. Also, I need to bear in mind, they're still pretty green. This is my celery, last year's celery for seed saving. I'll keep an eye on this now over the coming weeks, and now that we've got some sunshine and dry weather, they might start to mature, turn brown, and then at that stage I can snip them off and then hang the whole sort of sprig upside down in a paper bag, and the seeds will just drop out into the paper bag. Now, I don't think I've got any paths. Which way? I tell you what, let's come up this path if there's space. We'll come back and look properly in a second. Let's just, whoopla. Oh, I think that's another cane slightly. Oh, my canes. Oh, we've been hammered by wind. Okay, so the tomatoes. Oh my goodness. I almost have a tomato. Now, on my way in this morning, I did have a really close look, and I can't see any signs of blight. So I'm hoping that means that the tiny amount that was developing on the leaves hadn't become systemic and got into all the stems, and that I've got a chance now to get some fruit ripened. And like I mentioned the other day, it's going to be way less than I would normally have. I mean, just like way less. But you know what, I'm going to be grateful for any I do get. Oh, and also, after I'd done this, when I got home, I went through all my stored tomatoes to check exactly what I've got left. I've got 23 portions, you know, like, oh, for goodness sake, building work. I've got 23 portions that would equate to 23 tins of, you know, tinned chopped tomatoes like you buy in the supermarket. So I'm going to go easy on them for now, just in case none of this lot come off. 23 portions would be what? The equivalent of 1 tin of tomatoes every fortnight, which ain't a lot, but it will do. Oh no, damage. You know what, I think it's because we've been so wet. The slugs have been at them. Oh, darn it. And I think lack of sunshine, I mean, they're showing no signs of ripening yet. Like with my green ones, I could have them at this stage, and in fact, yeah, this is definitely something for me to think about over the next couple of days or so, is do I want to risk leaving them in? Oh look, that one's completely gone. Do I want to risk leaving them in to ripen and maybe losing the lot to slugs, or have them out now and just not get that really ripe flavour? Yeah, I'll think about it. I'm going to have a load of cucumbers to pick, and there's going to be some massive ones. Oh yeah, that's okay. If I've got the really, really massive ones, they can be for smoothies. If I've got a real massive glut of smaller ones, I can see if I can swap them, trade them elsewhere. So that's the two Muscade Provence, and I think it's one of those down there that we saw. I think I'm gonna have to come. Yep, not a path to be seen. So I think what we'll do, we'll take a cut through here, cut through all the beans. Yeah, my bean arches, what a disaster this year. My own fault. Right, on here I'm supposed to have two delicata. Is that a delicata? No, I think that is a Jack Be Little forming. I'm guessing that if there are delicata forming, they're in here under the cukes. Oh my goodness. I think what I'm going to have to do as I go through... I've just seen a bean in there. What is it? Oh, it was a spare Coco de Pampol, wasn't it? Swamped. Yeah, I think what I'm going to have to do... Oh my goodness. And here's our Poppy. Hello, beautiful. How are you? Meow. Are you all right, miss? I'll be with you, all you cats, in a minute. I'm talking to the lovely people in La La Land. Yeah, I think as part of my... Oh, let's just get back onto the path. It's a big step, that one. As part of my starting to tidy up today, what I'll do with all the vines is I'll check to see where fruits are forming. And if I have sort of excess vines, I might even just trim them back. In there, I think that's a Jack Be Little. Yeah, I haven't got a Scooby-Doo. Okay, well, seeing as we're at this end, let's look at beans. So I've got two lots of frames here, and these are the Madeira Maroon. This is Paul's saved seed. Yeah, plenty of beans coming. Do you know what though? That feels like a helder. Gordon Bennett. That's helder over there. So, this pole is bare. This pole is bare. That pole has, I think, one plant. This is supposed to be my Trail of Tears. This little area was planted, and it's also been seeded 3 times. And every time they've come up, slugs and snails have had them. Grr. So Madeira Maroon on the left, oopla, doing fine. Oh, it looks like that helder's been had. So I've got one plant here of helder that's ready to pick. These are the one that I do have for the whole pod. They're like a runner bean, so it's sort of size, slimness, but they're smooth and stringless. Yum, yum, yum. Oh gosh, there's hardly going to be a feed from them. Well, fortunately, these are not my long-term storers. Oh, for goodness sakes. I mean, I don't stand a chance, do I, when there's snails up at nearly 5 foot? Okay, then next to them here, oh, I can see loads forming. This is borlotti. This is another saver. These ones I saved dried. Borlotti are better dried. To their left, these next two sets of canes. This is runners, good old Scarlet Emperor, absolute bog standard. I think almost every British garden has a Scarlet Emperor at some point. Again, growing for the beans, not the pods. Grow them, get them really big and fat. Pop them and freeze them. And actually, because it looks like the gigantes are going to be poppy, because it looks like the gigantes might be a bit of a washout, the big fat runner beans will be a good substitute in those meals where I like a big meaty bean, like my fasolada. Over here, this is 2 beds of butternuts. I can't see any forming, and I can't get in here. Where am I going to put my foot? This is a dyspraxic's nightmare. Oh, crunch. But I do have at least one Rouge Vif de Tombe. Oh, you beauty. And I thought, oh, I can see a butternut forming down there. Butternut vines have gone mad. So I thought I saw another Rouge Vif forming the other day. I think what's going to happen this year, because I have completely lost my paths. Can you see where my sticks are? You see now why I have the sticks. It shows me where to water. So I think what I'm going to do with the butternuts this year is just say, you know what? I don't know what I've got. I'm hardly even going to go looking. I'm just going to give myself a nice surprise in the autumn when the foliage dies back. Disappearing poppy. There's a poppy in there somewhere. Oh, you funny girl. Yeah, just wait for the foliage to die back and have a nice surprise. Hopefully a nice surprise. We're a bit out of order today in terms of the sequence I normally do things, just because of lost paths. I'm trying to bring you around this way. The Coco de Pampol bed. Oh! The first beans showing. Now this, I think this is probably from the ones I sowed direct. I sowed this entire bed direct in May. But then we had 2 weeks of non-stop rain, and I think a lot of my seed just rotted. So then I did some backup sowings in pots, and I think they're the ones basically where we're getting the flowers now. So they're at least 4 weeks later than I would normally expect. This kale needs exactly the same treatment as the Cavallonera. So this is my red curly kale in terms of rearranging the hoops so they're taller. I don't even get a sense of it, but yeah, can you see that they're squashed right up to the top of the net? Yeah, so the net needs raising. Oh, and I need to harvest my broad bean seed. Oh, if it still exists, we've had that much rain. Oh, I hope they haven't rotted in their pods. This is the thing when you're not in the garden for so many weeks. It's these little things that can be missed and then, yeah, left with nothing. I do, though, have a little bit of seed left from last year's saved seed. Actually, the same is true. I think the same is true for pretty much everything I've planted this year, from tomatoes, beans, what else? Can't think off the top of my head, but everything I've planted from my own seed, my own saved seed, the cocoa, I have seeds still left from last year. So that if this whole entire garden, it's not going to happen, but imagine if this entire garden failed completely, I would still have seed for next year. This is one of the really important things about both being frugal and trying to be self-sufficient, is it's not just about growing the food, but it's about ensuring your seed supply for years to come. So I never use up all my seed. I always save some. And I just remembered that I forgot to show you the black Churchill. This is really beautiful, isn't it? The gorgeous red flowers, yes, like Scarlet Emperor. But what I love is the stems. The stems are red too. And then let me show you these beans that are developing. Hello, Black Beauty. So they start a bit more green, and they start to get these sort of purple mottles, and then they go really purple. Oh yes, I'm delighted that all 4 plants grew and appear to have grown strongly. Not only because that is obviously a bit of food, but in terms of seed saving and disseminating this seed, which, well, I don't think very many people have at all. Oh, I'm delighted. Yay. Oh, that arch wants to go completely over. Note to self, do not skimp on bracing the arches next year. It's kind of pretty though, isn't it? Right, I know I'm flitting around all over the place today. Oh, hesitating, I was going to go back through the arches. No room. Oh, the lavender took a right hammering from the rain too. Actually, that's before we have a proper look here, because this is where we always end up, isn't it? I just want to bring you around the back. Oh, butterfly. Around the back of the cold frame to show you that the Taunton Dean is finally starting to get away. So again, I think I might give that a bigger stake. So it's nearly, it's got to be about 80 centimetres tall now, 2.5 feet or so. So again, this is one that I can start harvesting this winter. Yum. I wanted to come this way to show you the butternuts, the butternut vines. They're going to be going into and through the cold frame before I know it. You know what? That'll be fine, because I'm hoping within the next 2 to 3 weeks to empty the cold frame of all these brassicas. I'll get the shade netting off, and then can you see how the vines are up against the window over there? Get the shade netting off, all the windows are open, and just give all these lovely butternuts masses of space to sprawl. Fab. Right, let's see, fennel and salads. Oh, you're joking. Okay. The fennel's gone now as well. Fennel's gone, salads are gone, spinach is hanging in there. I'm at the stage now where I'm thinking, oh, who's fighting? Sorry about that interruption. That was very unusual. That was Rusty and Poppy really going at it. So yeah, I'm wondering whether I bother. I won't bother with fennel now. It's too late. I may start some more salad leaves again. And hopefully I'll be back in the garden more regularly, more full time now, so I can put out traps for the sugs and hopefully get 1 salad leaf this year. Oh, I just stood on a snail. Yuck. This rhubarb has been fantastic this year. It's an absolute monster. Look, it's to the top of the fence. Oh, look, the grapevine. Lovely. And the verbena. Pretty. Yeah, another harvest of the rhubarb. I think there's quite a bit of harvesting to do, actually. Oh, and harvest my, if I can get through, my blueberries. Oh, they're really ripe. Oh my goodness, they are so ripe. Oh, look at the little gatekeeper on the verbena. Oh, you pretty thing. Eat up, little one. Isn't it lovely when, you know, we plant these things in our gardens that we enjoy, but actually the insects enjoy them even more. It's a constant delight. Wow, this has taken an absolute hammering from the rain. So yeah, harvest lavender. I think it looks like there's some hyssop I can start pruning back there. Harvest French lavender. Tidy up the deck a bit. Obviously the sweet peas went over ages ago because I wasn't here to water. Or not just to water, but to keep deadheading. But now it's going to be all about seed saving. So they're fine, they can just sit there, they don't need me. I will keep an eye on them though, because if they get too dry they'll burst open and I'll lose the seeds. So actually what I might do, where they are pretty dry like this one and I can feel the seeds quite fat in there, I may pick those now so they don't burst and just land randomly in the garden. Okay, wow. Wow. Crikey, there's a lot of work to do. And like I said in the shed, I'm slightly daunted. It's one of those things where if I look at everything, I think, oh my goodness, so much to do and I do not know where to start. So, the best place to start, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you all down. I'm going to go grab my clipboard and pen and walk around and make a note of everything that it's doing in every single bed. And once I've done that, I can then start to think about what is the priority. In other words, if I only have one morning here in a whole week, what is the most important thing to do? Obviously, I plan to have more than one morning here. Oh, I just noticed the sedums. These are the sedums Paul gave me. Look, this one's been absolutely stripped of its leaves. So this one, look at all, it's absolutely lush with leaves, gorgeous. That one's been stripped. Ah. Oh, what a year. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I can't think straight just thinking about absolutely everything. So yeah, pad, paper, walk around, decide what needs doing and decide which is the most important of all those jobs. I need to do some weeding. For instance, this path, I've got weeds. I hate weeds. The weeds are nicking nutrition. However, is that the most important job? Probably not. Oh, what I didn't show you, I can't get to them, so I'm going to just zoom you in a bit. This is my French peppers, the Doullong de Londe. This is the Basque region pepper. So if you're ever on holiday in the Basque region, if you are eating at a restaurant and there's peppers in the dish, there will almost certainly be Doullong de Londe. I love them. Long, skinny, wrinkly, green at the moment, but they will turn the most beautiful, deep, strong red. Oh, okay, so that's it for now, folks. I think, let me just extricate myself from the lavender. It's been quite a long one, so I'm going to say cheerio to you all. And I'm going to start making a list. Oh, the smell of the lavender. I was literally just in it here to get you a shot of the Doullong de Londe, and just brushing it, that little bit, has released the scent. It's gorgeous. Absolutely beautiful this year. Oh yeah, against the blue of the sky. You know what? Maybe it is summer after all. Cheerio, everyone.